Spoiler warning.
Hey everybody, and welcome to mine and my friend's review of Avengers: Infinity War. I've never done anything like this before, so this might be good or bad. I don't know. I'm uploading it regardless of what you think. So yeah, and we can't really talk about this movie without talking about spoilers. So this is gonna be a long video, but it's also gonna be like spoiler heavy. So if you haven't seen the movie, then don't watch this yet.
We're gonna spoil everything.
Yeah, literally on my notes, the first thing it says is spoilers.
With a lot of exclamation points behind it.
Yes. So, and I'll put it in the video title too, in the description, in case you're too stupid to read. Anyway, with that, let's get started. So, where do you want to start?
With, I guess, the beginning is the best place to start.
Yes. So, right off the bat, they kind of show off like Thanos, and they show off that he's a force to be reckoned with because if you've seen Thor Ragnarok, the beginning of this movie just makes that whole movie entirely pointless. Because Thanos just kills all the Asgardians. They say he killed half, but he actually killed all of them.
Actually, they did confirm that Valkyrie survived somehow. But they didn't say anything on Korg, so not guaranteed that he's alive.
Also, if Hulk is too scared to come out, you know that Thanos is a force to be reckoned with. Because Hulk, just comes out and starts beating, throwing punches, and then Thanos just, I don't remember what happened. He throws him or something, and then he turns back into Bruce Banner. And then throughout the whole movie, he's like, "No, I don't want to come out. I'm going to be 2 years old. I'm too scared to come out." And Loki dies supposedly.
And Loki also says, "We have a Hulk."
Yeah, he says that. So yeah, let's see what happened after that. Thanos went to New York, and so did the Hulk, or Bruce Banner at this point, because the Hulk isn't going to be in the rest of this movie.
Yeah, Heimdall just bye Hulk, down to Earth you go.
And then he dies.
The only Asgardian who appeared to be dead that could still be alive is Loki. Because after Thanos beat the crap out of the Hulk, Loki just appears out of comes out of some rubble. And that could have easily been just an illusion Loki, and he could have escaped somehow, because that's what Loki always does.
Yes. Yeah. Alright, so next I guess we should talk about who teams up with who, because that's kind of where this starts going into. So, I think, so Bruce Banner comes in, or gets kind of thrust or thrown into Doctor Strange's hideout, and kind of warns him, and then I think they call Tony, right? Is that when they call Mr. Stark? Or was he just there? It's a little fuzzy.
Well, Doctor Strange opens up a portal to right where Tony Stark is, and he's like, "Hey, Iron Man.
Oh yeah, that's
Get
right.
over here."
And so then we get introduced to basically the Koopalings, if you've played Mario. The Koopalings of this movie.
What are Black Order.
Is that what they're called?
Yes.
Okay. And they're good enough for what their purpose is good. They do good in this movie, but they're not memorable. I just remember there's a bulky one.
There's Squidward.
Squidward's the only one I remember.
I'm Squidward, it's Squidward.
By the way, spoilers, Squidward dies in Infinity War.
And he looks hilarious when he dies. He's floating off into space with the dumbest look on his face. And it's hilarious.
But, so they take Doctor Strange up into the or Squidward ends up taking Doctor Strange up into a ship, and Spider Man too, and then Iron Man just kind of goes. He's like, "Oh yeah, I should go up there and see what's going on," so he does that, and then that they're like that's part of what am I trying to say?
That's the first team.
Yeah, that's the first team. And then after that, I believe it cuts to the Guardians finding Thor.
Yeah, and he makes Star-Lord feel like a little baby because he's way more masculine.
Dude, Drax was so funny in this movie. He was like the comedy relief.
He's been the comedy relief since Guardians 2.
You're a dude. He's a man. So, so the Guardians find Thor floating around in space. They save him, and then Thor, Rocket, and Groot go to find, they go get Thor's new axe and survive a star going through his chest, Thor specifically, which makes him more powerful than Thanos until he gets all the Infinity Stones. But we'll get to that. And then what happened after that? Is that when they went to the Collector?
Yeah. And like I'm really confused on how the Reality Stone works. Like sometimes it looks like in the same scene it does two different things. It creates the illusion of like Thanos still interrogating the Collector and then being killed. But then it like immobilizes Mantis and Drax.
I honestly thought they died. I was like, oh, they died. But then they came back to life and I was like, oh.
So I don't know if it like actually affects all of reality or if it just creates little illusions. Like very, very convincing illusions. It's kind of weird.
Here's what we learned in superhero universes in general. If you have a plot hole in your superhero story, just blame it on Flashpoint.
I mean, I guess Thor 2 really should have done a better job at explaining what the heck the Reality Stone is.
I don't even remember what happened in Thor 2. I just remember Loki pretended to die.
It feels, in Thor 2, it felt like it was just treated like a second Power Stone. Like, I have this, and now I'm super powerful, and I'm power. I'm not reality, I'm power.
Alright, let's see. And then, so the rest of the Guardians go to the Collector, and then Thanos takes Gamora away.
And there's bubbles.
There's bubbles. There are some bubbles, yes. Let's see, and then it goes to Captain America and his team, right?
Well, first it's like Scarlet Witch and Vision, and they're like, we're in love.
Because that's not weird at all.
Like, we're in France, I think.
And then they get in a fight with one of the Dark Order people, and then they go to Wakanda.
Wait a minute.
What?
Captain America just like, and his team just like show up. How did they know to show up? That is never explained in the movie.
They're secretly spying on. I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Maybe just right timing. They were like, "Hey, we found where Scarlet Witch is, and we need her. So let's pick her up." And then when they get there, they're like, "Oh crap, stuff's going down."
Just blame it on convenience. Then they go to Wakanda, and that's where they're stationed for the rest of the movie.
And they're like, we can get the Infinity Stone out of Vision and have him still be Vision, and then Scarlet Witch can destroy it.
Yeah, and then the Dark Order comes and is like, "Hey, we wanna take that Infinity Stone from you," and then And so everyone there, except for Scarlet Witch and Vision, obviously, go to get ready to attack all these weird dog alien monster things. I don't know what they're officially called. I don't know if they have an official name. But
They do, but I can't remember what it is.
But it leads to some pretty good action. Like, all the action in this movie is, like, perfect for what this kind of movie is going for, I think. And every scene is given the right amount of time, in my opinion. Like, everything in this movie just feels right for what it's going for. It's definitely one of the darkest, if not probably the darkest MCU movie.
Well, yeah, no one has ever died. There's never been such a high kill count of heroes in a superhero movie before.
And I think it's at this point where Thanos takes Gamora to what was that planet called? It was do you remember what it's called?
No.
Well, he takes her to a planet to go get the Soul Stone.
And the big surprise is Red Skull is there.
Yeah, Red Skull's like, hey, if you want the Soul Stone, you gotta make a sacrifice. And so then Gamora starts laughing at him, and she's like, "Ha, you don't care about anything. This is gonna be hard for you." And then he throws her off a cliff, and Gamora dies.
I was actually skeptical in that moment because I was like, it feels like Gamora would be the prime candidate for this, but I don't know if Thanos actually loves her or if it's just like a facade.
Oh, as soon as they started talking about a soul for a soul, I was like, all right, they're gonna kill Gamora. I was like, it's gonna happen. But and I guess I should get to the point that this movie is really about Thanos. He's like the main character. It's called The Avengers, but I mean, if you see the movie, it should be called Thanos Infinity War.
Well, that won't get as many butts in seats.
True.
Gotta have that Avengers on there.
I mean, it deserves all the attention that it's getting. It's fantastic. And Thanos, his character is built really well because he has the only character development in the movie. But this was a villain built up since 2012, right?
Yeah.
From the first Avengers. So, I mean, he deserves all the attention, and he's a great villain in this whole movie. Definitely one of the best movie villains like ever, up there with the Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker, in my opinion.
He's probably like the only superhero villain to ever win completely. Like, you could say someone like Joker won because he accomplished his goal, but then also not completely because he still got arrested. But like Thanos does everything he wanted to do and gets away with it and everything, and there's nothing anyone can do about it.
Yeah, and we'll get there. We're almost there. So, so Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange get stranded on this planet called Titan.
And then they meet up with the leftover Guardians of the Galaxy, and Star-Lord's like, "Where's Gamora?"
Yeah, well, yeah, so Doctor Strange...
Why is Gamora?
Who is Gamora? Even better. So Doctor Strange is like, while they're stranded there, before the Guardians get there, Doctor Strange is meditating, and he saw 14 million different possibilities, somewhere around there, and he saw only one where they would win.
What about the possibility where he could use one of those portal things to cut off Thanos' arm? I mean, he did that earlier in the movie to one of the Black Order.
Thanos has plot armor.
Yeah.
So then Thanos comes to take the Time Stone from Doctor Strange, and he stabs Mr. Stark in the chest. But before that, they're trying to get off the glove, and
Star-Lord ruins everything.
which people, I mean, yes, he should not have done that. That was a bad thing. He was a very bad boy to do that. But
That's a weird way to phrase it.
but it was completely in his character to do that.
I mean, yeah, remember what he did to Ego? Like, it broke my heart to put that tumor in her head. What? Bang, 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 bang.
So,
You killed my mom and broke my Walkman.
yeah, so it was like, it like literally got off his hand, and then
He, like, grabs it and he's like, no, you don't. I'll take that back.
and then he starts beating the crap out of everyone, and then he stabs Iron Man, and then he's like, hey, I know you, Mr. Stark. And then he says something about knowledge being cruel or something, which apparently he knows Mr. Stark, so that's cool. I don't know why I'm calling him Mr. Stark. But
I think just about everyone expected him to die as soon as he got stabbed.
I know, I did too. I thought
Like,
he was
oh,
going to
there,
die.
there goes Iron Man.
I was like, oh, well, this is going to be a long and sad scene. And then he's like, nope. And then Doctor Strange is like, nope, here's the time stone. Because it was the only possibility he could see of winning. And so, at this point, Thanos has 5 of the 6.
Yeah. And he's
So-
like, well, time to go to Wakanda to ruin everyone's day.
Yep. So, Scarlet Witch finally decided to go out and help them, and they actually made a joke about that in the movie. And then they were trying to get the what was the last one?
The Mind Stone.
Yeah, they were trying to get that out of Vision the whole time, and that's why they were fighting those weird creatures, because they were trying to get the stone out of Vision without killing him, and they just didn't even care. The Dark Order, that is. So, their shield got destroyed, and the creatures and everything started coming into Wakanda, and the Dark Order got into the building where Vision was, and
Shuri thought she could beat one of them with her stupid laser mittens.
well, and then Vision still being injured. Oh yeah, by the way, Vision almost died wherever they were in England. So he's like in really bad condition, and so he's like, "Hey Scarlet, just kill me and blow up the stone."
And in that moment, I was like, please don't be terrible like Star-Lord. Please just do what needs to be done.
And
But
she
then-
did.
But then I was also like, he has the time stone. It's not going to matter.
Yeah. So
And it didn't.
so what happened was she actually did end up killing Vision.
And Thanos was like,
Nope. And then he
rewind.
Yeah, he rewound it, and then he just kind of crushed in Vision's forehead and just took the stone, and he's like, nope.
And then Thor shows us just how powerful he really is.
Throws
This new hammer tanks a blast from a fully powered Infinity Gauntlet and stabs Thanos in the chest. And it's like, holy crap.
Oh yeah, before we get to the end, we should probably talk a little bit about the Thor taking a freaking whole star to the chest for a few minutes, because we kind of just skimmed over that. So I think they kind of insulted Peter Dinklage a little bit.
Yeah, let's make his character tall. That'll be hilarious.
So yeah, instead of making a dwarf, the size of a dwarf, they made him gigantic, and he was played by Peter Dinklage. And they went to him because Thor needed his new weapon, and he was like, oh yeah, well, Thanos kind of killed everyone here except me and turned off the star that's powering this whole thing, so we need someone powerful enough to turn on the star for a few minutes so I can make your weapon. And Thor's
It's
like,
a very
"Alright."
big light switch.
Yeah. And then Thor takes a freaking star to the chest the whole time. Like, basically taking the sun, like taking the heat of the sun and just having that go, like, run through him for 3 whole minutes while his axe is being molded.
And they didn't even finish. But Groot was like, hey, I got you. A tree handle. Which should be really easy to break. But whatever.
Whatever, it's a movie. It can be forgiven.
Magic.
So yeah, that's what they were off doing while everyone else was doing their thing. So they go back to Wakanda.
Yeah, Thor can use this hammer to, like, bifrost himself anywhere now.
So, yeah, they go back to Wakanda, and then they start winning. And Bruce Banner is actually fighting, but he's not the Hulk. He's using the Hulk Buster.
Yeah, where did they get that?
You know, I don't know. I like how they even hid it in the trailers. Because in the trailers, when it showed them running through the field in Wakanda, instead of the Hulk Buster, it was Hulk. Which,
yeah, when I saw the Hulkbuster in the trailers, I was like, oh, Iron Man's gonna be there too. But nope.
Yeah. So, yeah, so now we're back to the present where Thor, like, everyone got the absolute crap beat out of them by Thanos alone. And so Thor's like, hey, guess what? Axe to the chest. And then
You
Thanos
should have gone for the head.
And then Thanos says that and snaps his fingers and annihilates half of the universe.
I was shocked in that moment, really.
Yeah, me too. Even though
it went from confusion to shock because it, like, started off in some weird dream sequence for a few seconds with, like, baby Gamora, and it's like, what the heck happened?
yeah,
And then, like, cut back and, like, everyone disintegrates to dust, and I'm like, oh, that's what's going on. Crap.
and then Spider-Man disintegrates to dust, and it's very sad. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Unfortunately, I felt no emotion in that scene because it got spoiled for me.
We'll talk about that here in a second, about how people are terrible at spoiling stuff. But
except us, because we warned you.
Yeah, we're not like that. Trust me, we're one of you guys. We don't want the movie spoiled for us till we go see the movie. So half of the Avengers die, and it's all of the newer Avengers that, like, in terms of Avengers movies, not in terms of, like, the MCU, but in terms of the Avengers movie, just showed up in the Avengers, and they just joined.
And I like how they also kept Rhodey, because technically he also counts as one of the originals.
But they also kept Rocket for some reason.
It would feel kind of overdone if they killed all of the Guardians.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, Rocket's the only Guardian left alive. Spider-Man dies, Doctor Strange dies, Black Panther dies, Gamora dies, Loki dies. Like, I think the people... Okay, so there were 3 people that, like, actually died instead of just turning into dust. And that was Vision, Gamora, and Loki.
And Heimdall.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Heimdall's dead. I think that the people who, like, actually died, like Gamora and Vision, are gonna stay dead. And I honestly hope that it kind of stays like that, because it shows that there are actually consequences to these things.
Yeah, they do need to keep some of them dead.
Like, obviously, all the ones that turn to dust, they're all gonna come back and be fine. It's gonna be like, Spider-Man's probably gonna hug Iron Man. He's gonna be like, oh, Mr. Stark, but and it's gonna be happy next year. But
no, it's not.
It's gonna be exciting next year, because they're going back to 2012, back in the first Avengers, and that's gonna be exciting. I'm excited for that.
And then apparently Captain Marvel, who is apparently the most powerful superhero in the MCU, is finally gonna bother to show up. Like, oh, you're the most powerful? Yeah, we couldn't have used you in New York or with Ultron. No, you just take your break.
Yeah, so I guess now we could talk about the after credit scene.
I guess half the universe has to be destroyed for it to be worth your time.
So the after credit scene, it shows Nick Fury and his assistant. They're driving in a car and I think they're like chasing down someone, and then the car stops, and then they get out of the car and there's no one in there, and then a helicopter crashes into a building and people are like disappearing and they're freaking out, and so they hit a button, and then
They both disintegrate.
Yeah, and then Samuel L. Jackson goes out, and the only way Samuel L. Jackson can go out. And so, yeah, they both die, and then he drops, obviously, Nick Fury drops the beacon, and it shows that it's Captain Marvel. And apparently we're getting a Captain Marvel movie this year, but there's no, like, trailers or anything.
I think it's next year, actually.
No, it's this year.
Oh.
Yeah. So...
it's going to take place in 1990, and everyone is a Skrull now.
So, yeah, Iron Man's still stranded on Titan, and I think everyone's forgetting that, which...
With Nebula, actually.
Yeah. And, everyone's still in shock. In Wakanda, everyone else. Oh, yeah, by the way, when Groot dies, when he says, "I am Groot," the director, or the screenwriter, who, is one of the only people who knows what Groot is actually saying. When he dies, he's saying "Dad" to Rocket. Sad fact.
Oh, another sad fact, the Galaga guy is dead, too.
The Galaga guy?
Yeah, from Avengers 1. Like, that man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did. Yeah, he's dead.
So yeah, that's Infinity War. I think that this is either my favorite or my second favorite MCU movie. I'm still trying to decide between this and Homecoming.
It's definitely the most different from all the other ones because of how high the stakes are.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that's something Marvel movies have seriously been lacking, like, real stakes and tension. Because, like, before this, it's like, no one's gonna die. And now it's like, everyone's gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked the way it went, and when I was spoiled that half the I like going into the movie, I already know that half the universe was gonna die, but it still got me. And during the credits, while we were waiting for the after credits scene, I just kind of stood there like speechless. Like, not many movies can do that for me, but that movie did it.
And, like, I got spoiled on Spider-Man's death, but, like, after the movie was over, I was like, oh, it could have been much, much worse.
Oh, yeah, apparently, in the comics, when they rewind time to beat the crap out of Thanos, Spider-Man is, like, totally taken out of the fight, and he's just back to just fighting crime in New York, and I really hope that they don't do that for Avengers 4. Like, just having, like, this gigantic fight between all the Avengers and Thanos would be so awesome.
Well, if they go back to 2012, Spider-Man's not gonna be there.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't Spider-Man yet.
Well, who knows what they're doing in 2012.
Ant-Man was there, though. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully Ant-Man decides to show up. Maybe, or at this point, we should talk about who didn't show up. Who bothered to not show up. Because...
Captain Marvel. You never showed up, Captain Marvel.
But there were a couple shocking disappearances. Not that they were, like, gone mysteriously or anything. They just bothered to not show up.
Ant-Man could have used one of those discs to shrink the Infinity Gauntlet so that Thanos couldn't wear it.
Yeah, Ant-Man wasn't there, so that meant that Wasp was also not there. Because they gotta make the Ant-Man movie that's coming out in July.
Hawkeye wasn't there.
Yeah, they were just like Hawkeye. They were just like, oh yeah, Hawkeye just moved away with his family.
Well, I mean, I like Hawkeye, but honestly, what would he have done against Thanos?
True. In fact, he probably would have died. Maybe he'll come back for the fourth Avengers movie, but who knows? Yeah, Captain Marvel didn't show up, and I think that was about it. But you'd think that the most important people who could do the most would show up. They're not there. Thor's
The Hulk.
Hulk, Ant-Man, and Captain Marvel. Like, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man, Thor, they could have all just destroyed Thanos.
Thor nearly did destroy
Yeah.
Thanos.
If only he aimed for the head. But, yeah, if you were to give this movie a rating out of 10, what would it be?
Oh, jeez, why'd you just drop this on me? I'm not good at rating movies.
Well, this is a review after all.
Probably like a 9 out of 10, I guess.
I'm going to be bold here, and I'm going to rate it a 10 out of 10. Yep.
Something that I did want to talk about real quick was how much I love Iron Man's suit.
Yeah.
Like, there's also a suit very similar to this one in the comics right now that I love. It, like, morphs into other Iron Man suits, like the Hulkbuster and, like, this samurai Iron Man suit, and it turns invisible. And this suit is really similar to that, because, like, he grows big hand cannons and all this other crazy stuff. He, like, morphs a shield.
He can turn his legs into jets.
Yeah, like this giant rocket jet, and it's awesome.
And plus, it can't actually, like, be permanently destroyed. Because he uses nanotechnology. So, yeah.
I also like the way the suit looks. Because, like, compare this to other Iron Man suits, and they just look really bad now. Because they just look too big and bulky, but this one's, like, really sleek.
Yeah, I think they keep getting better as they keep showing off Iron Man. The Iron Spider suit was pretty cool, too. I like that design.
I kind of like the other one better.
Yeah.
Like the Homecoming suit.
Mm-hmm. It was there for, like, a second, and it's like, hey, I got a better suit for you. Bye.
And heck, I even like his homemade suit better. Because, like, it looks kind of like a piece of crap, but it looks like a really nice piece of crap.
Oh yeah, they're putting that suit in the Spider-Man PS4 game as, like, a bonus costume.
Nice. And then I guess at the end, we should talk about some upcoming Marvel movies.
Oh yeah, let's see.
There's Captain Marvel, and
Ant-Man.
do you still not know what a Skrull is?
I think you told me.
They're the green aliens that can turn into anyone and imitate their powers, and they try to take over Earth. And everyone's like, oh, everyone's a Skrull. War Machine's a Skrull. Loki's a Skrull. Every Avenger is a Skrull.
Let's see. We also got Ant-Man, which looks good, I guess. I'll see it.
In the newest trailer, I like how they're doing cooler stuff with the shrinking.
They shrink a whole building, and they just bring it with them like a suitcase. I thought that was really funny.
And then there's Guardians 3.
Is that going to come out before Avengers 4?
I don't think
not.
so. I don't think this will happen, but I had, like, kind of an interesting idea for how Guardians 3 could go. Like, say the rest of the Guardians stay dead, and, like, it's just like a movie where Rocket and Nebula have to work together, and they have to, like, learn to trust each other and help each other work through the grieving from everything that happened in Infinity War. And, like, maybe Adam Warlock could be the villain because he was set up or something. But that probably won't happen.
Oh yeah, I haven't told you this yet. I don't know if you know about this, but they're beginning filming for the next Spider-Man movie in July. So I'm really excited about that. Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel hero. I'm basic, but I don't care. Batman's my favorite DC superhero, and Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel superhero, and that's how I like it. Let's see, what else is coming? We could mention some non-MCU Marvel movies that are coming out that people should look out for, like Venom.
I was really disappointed in like all the Venom trailers because they were so
They didn't show Venom.
boring. I didn't get what this movie was supposed to be about, and it looked kind of terrible. But then the most recent trailer came out, and I was like, all right, this looks pretty good.
Yeah, Venom's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, so I was gonna watch it regardless. But now that like they actually showed off Venom and they gave more of the story, because it's different than like everyone knows how Venom, like his origin story is different than how like most everyone knows it from like Spider-Man 3. I'm not sure how he gets what happens. But he's not going to be... There's no black Spider-Man in this movie.
No Miles Morales.
You know what I mean. No symbiote Spider-Man. Apparently Tom Holland's Peter Parker is going to show up in it, though, and that makes me excited.
Speaking of Miles Morales, though, he's actually getting an animated movie, like, at the very end of the year.
Oh, yeah. That makes me excited, too, because that actually does look really good.
It'll give Sony Animations a chance to redeem themselves after the Emoji Movie.
That's right. Oh my god, I haven't even thought about that. That the people who made the Emoji Movie are making a Spider-Man movie. Anyway, yeah. What other Marvel movies are coming out soon?
There's the Spider-Man Homecoming sequel that is going to have the Scorpion as a villain.
That'll be cool.
Something that bothers me is, like, I've seen some videos that are like, oh, did Chris Pratt spoil Avengers 4? He said that Mantis and him are going to be in Guardians 3, and it's like...
We already know they're coming back.
It's like... And even if they don't, then, like, the Spider-Man movies, the Spider-Man sequels are going to take place before Infinity War. They could do the same thing with the Guardians movie.
Actually, I hope that just this sequel is before Infinity War. I hope that all the other that if there are any other Spider-Man sequels after this one, that they are after Infinity War.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. To see a more experienced Peter Parker. But, yeah, we've been talking high praise about this movie, but do we have any negatives? Other than Star-Lord doing that thing.
Well, I feel like... I guess I really wasn't super surprised that a bunch of people were gonna die, because I was expecting something along those lines to happen. I was like,
yeah,
they are going to kill off several characters, probably. But I didn't think they'd kill off as many as they did.
Yeah. Like, the characters that die, you wouldn't think that they died, but they died. Like, me and him, like, throughout last month, leading up to Infinity War, we were just theorizing who was going to die, and we ended up believing that all the old Avengers were going to die, but the opposite happened.
I mean, I guess that makes the movie better, because, like, it would be obvious to kill off who everyone was expecting you to kill off.
Yeah. Like, we were like, oh, Captain America's gonna die, Iron Man's gonna die, Thor's probably gonna die, but no, they didn't die. They're still there. Yeah, I don't think I have any other negatives about the movie. It was very solid. Very few movies I can not find negatives in, but this one I could not. So, wow, 40 minutes long. I don't think I've ever made a video this long before, so, yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you want me to do more of these, then this is probably going to get like 5 views, but tell me in the comments if you want more reviews like this.
And be sure to like and subscribe.
I'm probably going to end up reviewing Breath of the Wild here pretty soon, and I'm just thinking how I'm going to do that. So,
You should have done it a year ago.
well, I didn't have the Switch version a year ago. Anyway, so also talk about how if you've seen Infinity War, what you thought about it, if you thought it was the best or the worst or whatever. And with that, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.